In the fall of 2024, I tried something that I swore I was too scared to try, my first market. As it wrapped up, I calculated my $450 earnings from that day. I was so shocked, excited, relieved that people liked my items. My whimsical art resonated with others, and I was left thinking, maybe this is worth a shot? Maybe Whimsy Pots is actually worth pursuing. I tried 2 more markets that year, and one was really great, one was god-awful, but that's just how it goes. Through my own learning from other small content creators of small businesses, I learned that there's ups and downs with markets, and I just kept going. But then 2025 came, and I had to choose one of 2 things. Do I stop altogether and maybe just keep it going as a hobby? Or do I try to pursue this in a somewhat part-time, semi-full-time kind of fashion? With so many obstacles in my way, I knew a lot of risk had to happen, and I planned them all for 2025. Earlier this year in January, I made a reel and a YouTube video that discussed my goals, and these were big goals, all things that would lead towards the growth of Whimsy Pots. Let's take a look back at my 2025 goals. It's not just a vision board for goals necessarily. This year, instead, I'm making a board of how I want to feel, what I want to fill my days with, and what the vibe should look like for a cozy and relaxed and emotionally fulfilling year. I want to feel grounded and free. I want to be surrounded by my community. I want to spend more time on crafts that are just for me, like paint by numbers or these DIY craft houses that I got. And overall, I just want to feel proud of the slow and sustainable growth that I'm trying to build here at the Whimsy Studio. My more concrete goals have to do with my Instagram followers, my YouTube subscribers, and possibly monetization, attending more markets and even challenging markets like a 2-day market or like a crazy Ren Fair situation. I kind of took this year as deciding whether or not I would continue after 2025 based on how this year went. So the first goal I had was to start a YouTube channel. I knew this one wouldn't happen right away, but I also wanted to monetize my YouTube channel by the end of this year. I wanted to get my items into a store, and for me that included learning what wholesale and consignment meant and seeing which one would be best for my items. I also wanted to get 3,000 followers on Instagram, just a random number that I made up, and possibly the biggest commitment, I wanted to get my own kiln. First thing that I started right away was my YouTube channel, arguably the scariest goal that I had. And I really just dove right in. Mid-December of 2024, I had already started working on my first YouTube video. I was getting all the footage that I needed, and then I continued it the first week of January before I posted it for the first time. If you've seen my other videos earlier this year, you may know that I have a lot of experience editing, videography, editing softwares, and things like that. In my high school era, I was involved in my video production class and eventually was the director of it. So we were making real news programs, and it gave me so much experience with editing, videography, and storytelling. I had no worry when it came to actually making the videos, but I did struggle with finding the time to sit down and edit it. I'm home full-time with my kids, so essentially this year I started a full-time business at home while raising my kids full-time. Finding time to throw and make and then edit, which takes hours, can be tricky, but I think eventually I've gotten the hang of it. The biggest hurdle that it came to starting my YouTube channel was getting over the idea that I would constantly be perceived online. Someone who's pretty introverted and really anxious, creating a job where I have to talk to a camera and allow thousands of people to watch is something I would have never thought I would do, and something I certainly struggled with the idea of doing it at the end of last year. Fall of 2024 is when I started to consider doing it, but I knew it would take a lot of working up to actually get it done. But I knew it would be for a good reason. If I was able to make decent videos and grow something here on YouTube, it could provide me more opportunity and another stream of income. Because I started the channel, I was able to complete another goal of mine, which was to monetize it. Last week, I officially became monetized on YouTube. Thank you to everyone who's been here watching, anyone who's new, anyone who's watching this right now. To have the largest and scariest goal completed just makes all of the hard work so worth it. And the little community that we're growing here is a nice surprise that came along with it. The next goal that I wanted to complete, that I had to take real life actions and steps towards achieving it, was to get into my first retail location. I wanted to do something temporary to get a feel for how my items did outside of a market, and especially how they did when I wasn't around, and to see if it would be good for growth and exposure. In June, I started to cold email places. I have a whole video about this process from start to finish that you should check out if you need some advice or to see what it was like. I got some responses at that time, and I was in 2 stores for about 2 months, and now I just signed a next contract in a new store for the next 6 months. I just did my first month there, and it's going really well. I have the ability to extend it to May, so I'm really grateful to already have a retail spot secured for as much of 2026 as I would like to. The next goal I wanted to accomplish was to get 3,000 followers on Instagram. This number wasn't for any particular reason. I just chose something that I thought might be doable by the end of this year. I started the year with 1,345 followers, so I thought it's a little bit more than double. I had all of the intentions of posting weekly reels and being able to grow that way, but I just was not consistent at all. I'm finishing the year with just over 1,850 or 60 followers, which for barely posting anything is not bad at all. A lot of that came from the stores I was in. A lot of that came from the markets that I attended. I always tell people that I'm active online, which I am very active daily in my stories. And I did make a lot of posts about where I would be, but the reels, not so much. I did post reels here and there. It's not like I didn't post at all, but I wanted to post weekly reels and it just didn't happen. It was hard for me to start juggling the YouTube editing routine, and then on top of having to edit reels, which is like a different software and just a different kind of editing. It just was a little bit too much. I would either do one or the other, and I never did both at the same time. So I have to try to create a content calendar for next year to see if I can stick to it, but I think I have ADHD and I can't tell myself to do anything. So we're just gonna have to see what happens. The last goal, maybe not the scariest, because YouTube was certainly the scariest. The most questionable one, like we might not even be able to attain this, but it's the most necessary for the growth of the business, was to get my own kiln. I knew without doing this, it would hold Whimsy back from progressing. Again, if you've been here for a little while, I talk about it a lot, but I am a part of a community pottery studio where I've been for the last 4 years. That's where I started my first classes, and then I became a member. And this is where I have access to buy clay. I use their glazes, and I leave my items and they will fire it in their kilns for me. It's a great way to start a hobby, but as the business started to form, I was making way too much for them to keep up with. Most people who are there are just hobbyists, or they're just trying it out for the first time, and it's very much just on the side, just for fun. And then here I come bringing a box of 20 items to leave on their shelves for the kiln. They never gave me any issues for it, but I started to feel so bad, and it honestly probably wasn't very fair to them or to anybody else that I had so much. Maybe it was fine, but I just knew that in order for me to progress and make more items, I needed to be on my own schedule. Most markets this year, probably every single market, there were so many things that I was missing because I hadn't received it back yet. And as the students and members, we weren't in control of the schedule for the kilns, and obviously they did the best that they could. There were so many people to fire for, and there was no way to predict when it was going to come out. So as much as I tried to schedule and plan ahead of time so I had ample time to get my items back for the market, it just never worked out. So I always had kind of low stock, or much less than I had wanted, and sales certainly reflected that. There were a lot of days where I would say, man, I would have made $500 more if I had these certain items here. The trajectory in which I wanted to grow Whimsy Pots, especially for next year, and the big scary things that I'm going to try to do next year, I really just needed my own kiln. And I cannot believe that after months of hard work, my husband and I finally did it. I have a whole video coming about this process in case you're interested, but we now have a kiln, a whole kiln room, and a whole new chapter of Whimsy Pots has just begun. It took months of saving up, months of hard work, working with an electrician and having surprise electrical work needed. and a lot of anxiety and fears about the future. Is this worth it? What the heck am I doing? I haven't fired in it yet. I'm actually really scared, but I plan to ramp up production in the next 3 weeks, and then the last week of January, I plan to do my first bisque firing, and then probably in the same week do a glaze firing. So also in the next couple weeks, I need to make a stop at my local pottery supply store, get a bunch of glazes, because now it's all on me to get my glazes. I have to get all of my materials and equipment that I need in order to do all of this. There's a long list of things that I need to make. This goal being accomplished feels so different because the other ones were like slow, progressive things that I worked on each month to get closer and closer to completing. Whereas this goal took a few months, and it was a quick yes or no decision that we had to make. Are we getting the kiln? Are we not? Are we really gonna do this? And it's one of the biggest commitments long-term and the biggest investment for the growth of everything. Those are all the real goals that I had. I only didn't accomplish one of them, which is pretty cool. I will probably have the same 3,000 Instagram follower goal for next year, but I'll have a whole new 2026 business goals coming up in a few weeks too. I don't even know what my goals are yet. I have a few in my head, but I haven't sat down yet to make a vision board or make a list of goals for next year. I feel like next year is gonna be very big. This year I knew was going to be scary, and next year is going to be big. That's also very scary. One more thing that I wanted to mention is that when I was reviewing the footage of the goals from January of this year, I found a video clip where I was struggling to call myself an artist, what it means to be an artist or to be a professional at what I do. And I wanted to give an update on my thoughts about that. Now that I'm 1 more year in, and this was the first full-time year of Whimsy Pots where I was doing everything. In-person markets, online sales, growth. I've sold so much pottery this year, I should actually count it all together and find out. I've had repeat customers, people thanking me for bringing my art into the world, and I've taken huge steps to grow the business this year, and more importantly, grow my craft. But I guess I'm an artist. I'm still stuck on calling myself a professional potter or an artist because it hasn't been very long and I didn't go to school for this, besides some classes at the studio, but that was technically professional training, right? I definitely wouldn't say I'm not an artist or I'm not a professional, but I wouldn't be fast to say that I am, if that makes sense. Now I'm kind of feeling in between, like, sure, yeah, I guess I am. Maybe that'll change next year, who knows? Thank you so much for being here. I hope you really enjoyed. Please like and subscribe and leave me a comment on what you think it takes to be an artist or a professional in what you do. I will see you in the next one, and Happy New Year.